This interactive demo of project management with CA Clarity PPM is the first of a comprehensive series of demonstrations presented by Digital Celerity, a premier CA Technologies partner and the leading provider of Clarity consulting, training, and expert services. As the #1 reseller of CA Clarity PPM in North America, Digital Celerity is delighted to share our knowledge, exchange ideas, and build the CA Clarity PPM community.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for offering to show us Clarity this morning. As a company, I know that we need to be able to standardize on the way that we plan and control projects. We've got some very different levels of project maturity throughout our organization. Some projects are planned and tracked at the project level, some at the stage level, and some even have some detailed task plans. What I'd like to do is to get all the project plans to the detailed level. But at the moment I feel that I just can't enforce that change immediately. So, looking at Clarity, is there a way that we can plan and control projects in a standard way, but also taking into account these different levels of maturity? Maybe through the use of one-line plans, stage plans, or detailed plans. I wonder if you could show us how Clarity would handle that.
Yeah, sure thing, Chris. Clarity supports this really well. Clarity has the concept of project templates, and a template is basically a standardized project plan that can support different project types. For example, we can have templates that support project planning at the project level, a very high level, or at a more stage level, so we have the ability to handle each stage, or actually go down to a very detailed task level, so that we're doing true project planning at a detailed level. So we can support these different templates for different project types. And by using these templates, people have standardized use of project plans. But the best thing that also is that regardless of which type of template is used for a project, standardized reporting will be able to capture the same project metrics, cost, and staffing needs for all these project types. So let me show you how this looks in Clarity. What you're seeing on screen right now is just the Clarity homepage. I'm going to take you to the project page for a list of projects here. And this will show all the projects we have in the system now with just some high-level information about it. The name of the project, who the project manager is, what stage the project is in, and then the high-level project schedule. So this gives you an overall look at the project. What I want to show you now is how you can create projects for different project types using different templates. So I'm going to come down here, and there's a New from Template, and we'll click on this to create a new project. And what I've done is created 3 different types of templates for your company. One is a detailed plan, which will be detailed tasks with assignments and dependencies and estimates to complete. And there's also a one-line plan, which is real high-level plan at the project level. That's it. No more detail than that. And then in between those two is the stage-level plan, where you're doing really planning at the stage level, but you're not going into the full detailed plan of the first example. So let me show you how this works. If we create a one-line plan here, so we choose this template, I will let us build up a project. I'll call it the ABC one-line project. And we'll just give it, let's say this is about a 4-month project, more or less. Go ahead and save this project. So what this does is it creates a project based on the template I selected. So everyone in your company who is going to plan at the one-line level can use this template. And what they get is some standardized planning and metric capability. So for example, we're on the project dashboard now, and just by creating the template, I have the key milestone that you want to track for all projects, regardless of what level they're planned out. And then they're distributed across standard time estimates for typical projects. So you're already starting off with a standard, simple project plan. Now I'm going to click on the project team page, and this shows you, again, coming from the template, the type of people you typically need to run a project in your company and how much time is needed for those people. For example, we have the concept of roles in Clarity, which is we don't yet know who's going to do this work, but we know you need an architect, a business analyst, a developer, a project manager, and test engineer to get your work done. And over here you can also see we have how much time is actually needed. So an architect needs to be on the project about half time typically. Business analyst 25%. Developers and test engineers are on full time, and the project manager is on half time. So this gives, again, a standardized way of saying what type of resources are needed on this project and how much time is needed on these projects, all through the template. And then they can manage at this level. They have their milestones, they have their team members, and they have their project metrics, risks, issues, change requests, etc. There's no need to ever go into any more detailed scheduling than that. So that's a simple one-line plan created through a one-line template. So let me now go back, and let's go back to the project page. We now see we've created that ABC one-line project. It fits in with all these other projects. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create a project at a more detailed level. So again, click New from Template. And the next phase would really be planning at the stage level, where we have a little bit more detailed than what we just showed you, and we do the stage level planning. And project managers have a little more ability to put tasks in and assignments at that stage level. I'm going to go ahead and skip that one and go to the detailed one to show you an example of that one. This is one where we've now gone all the way to detailed task level planning. And I want to show you how that looks to build a project based on this template. So we'll call this the ABC detailed plan. Again, we'll make it about 4 months in duration. And this is going to build the project up on the more detailed template. We'll show you what this looks like. So first off, we're on the project dashboard, and as you'll see, it looks the same. It has the same high-level milestones: concept, design, feature complete, test ready, beta, and production. Same spread out set of kind of typical durations for each of these phases. So regardless of whether we go with that simple one-line project template or a more detailed project template, you're still looking at the project in the same way in terms of metrics, milestones, and analysis. If I click on the team page for this detailed project, and the same thing applies. We still need the same types of people and the same amount of time: architects, half-time, business analysts 25% of the time, and developer full-time. The same type of project, just different way of managing it. Therefore, these standard components will be the same. The difference on the detailed plan comes when we get into the task level planning. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the project in Clarity Gantt, which is the Clarity scheduler. We'll take a look at the schedule here. So what we're seeing here is, again, the template has brought in the standard phases within a project: concept phase, design phase, development phase, test phase, rollout phase. But we can expand these out, and there's more detail beneath this. So within a concept phase, there's standard tasks that need to be performed to get to concept complete. You need to define your requirements, you need to define your high-level effort estimate, and your high-level cost estimate. And then also in general it has, well, who does this type of work? The business analyst defines the requirements, the architect defines the high-level effort estimate, and the project manager does the cost estimate. And over here you'll see there's typical durations for each of these in terms of how long they take. And then there's dependencies. You can't do the estimates until you've defined the requirements. So these estimates are defined. And ultimately that all leads to that concept complete milestone. That's standard regardless of whether you're doing the detailed plan as we're seeing now, or just the one-line plan, which will just have the milestone. So this lets you do your full detailed planning. Project managers can take these standardized templates, and then they can work with them to further schedule the project. But the key point here is Clarity really supports very well the concept of different project managers managing projects at different levels, and yet still being able to report on the metrics and milestones and key functionality of the projects at the same level.
Great, thanks, Bill. So I can see now, you can have a plan at that one-line level. I could have tasks at the stage level with milestones underneath it, or I could have a detailed plan, which I'm seeing now, which of course could be a lot more detailed than this. But I also want to know, how do I get my resources onto these projects, into these roles, so that we've actually got real people carrying out the tasks or working on the one-line project to hit those milestones? How does that work? Could you show me that, please?
Yeah, sure thing. So Clarity will help you find the right people for projects in several ways. Clarity will help you find people with the right role. So for example, an architect or business analyst, also with the right skills. And most importantly, it'll help you find resources with the availability to do the work that needs to be done. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm going to close down the Clarity Scheduler and go back to the team page here. So we're still on this ABC project with a detailed plan. And as you recall, we had these roles on the project just as a result of creating it through a template, these standardized roles. But to actually get people on these onto the project, what you need to do is go ahead and replace that role, an architect, with a real person. So find someone who has this role and has the availability needed in this time to fill that role. So what you do is you go ahead and click this Resource Finder link right here, and Clarity will go out and search for people that both have the role and the skills needed for this project, and also the availability. So it's gone ahead and found these people who all have this right architect, and then it tells you which ones of these are available, and both in terms of time and also how well do their skills match. So this is where you'll find people who both are a good match for the position and have the availability to do the work. So we'll go ahead and choose one of these architects and put them onto the project and confirm it, and put them on the project page. And what we see now is, on the team page, the architect role has been removed from the project, and Valerie Childers has been replaced as the person who's going to do this work. And so we've now put a real person on the project. And since we're in a detailed plan where we'd actually assigned tasks to the architect role, that also will be handled automatically. Those tasks will now be assigned to Valerie Childers because she has replaced the architect role on Clarity.
Okay, that's good. So can we see that? Can you show that to me, where Valerie's on some of those tasks? And let's have a look at how her time is actually scheduled into this project, if we can.
Sure. I'm going to go back and go ahead and open up the Clarity Scheduler, and we'll look at these projects, these tasks. And what you see is in the concept phase, there's a high-level effort estimate, which used to be assigned to the architect, but now it's actually assigned to Valerie Childers. So by putting her on the project in the role of architect, Clarity also went ahead and replaced her on every task needed for that architect role.
Okay, so now that Valerie's doing some work on this, she's producing this high-level effort estimate. How does she get her actuals or her time that she spends on that task back into this project plan, so that I can track my actuals against my estimates?
Sure, absolutely. So the project manager will set up the estimates on the tasks in terms of how long it will take them to complete, and that leads to duration here of the task, start and finish date. But obviously that's the plan, and that can change with time. So how that's tracked in Clarity is through timesheet. So let me go ahead and close down this scheduler, and I'm going to bring up a timesheet for you to look at here. I'm going to click on this timesheet, and I'll explain how this works in Clarity. So the current timesheet will bring up all the tasks that I am currently assigned to on projects within this time period. This is a project task I should be working on. And this is where we see these are the tasks on the different projects that I'm assigned to. And over here you see, well, this is the estimate to complete those tasks. For example, complete the project plan for this project. We estimated it would take 20 hours to complete the task. Now at the end of the week, if I go in and I say, well, I worked 10 hours on Tuesday, or let's say 5 hours, a more reasonable time slot, and 3 hours on Wednesday, when I save this timesheet, what you'll see is this ETC was 28 hours. Well, now it's dropped to 20 hours because there should only be 20 hours remaining of work since I've actually put in 8 actuals. So that is how the estimates will be reduced through actual time and put back into the project plan. There's a couple other pieces of this, which is I may have put in 8 hours, and it looks, now that I've put in 8 hours, and it says there's only 20 hours remaining, I may realize this is a harder task than I thought. I can actually go in and say, well, there's actually 30 hours remaining in my estimate, and I can save that. And what that does, it tells the project manager who will see these updates, and they can say, oh, okay, this is a harder task than I thought. This is going to affect my project plan. And then the project manager can have that notification and be able to then plan accordingly to manage the project.
Okay, Bill, and what if I've got a task and, you know, I know that I did, say that defined scope change and control process, and I know that in the week I did 32 hours on it, but I really can't remember whether I did 5 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Tuesday, or whatever. But I just want to know that for the week I want to put in 32 hours. Can I do that on this timesheet as well?
Sure. You can just go in here to the total and say, I worked 32 hours. And when you save it, what it'll do is go ahead and it'll just distribute those hours evenly across the week. So you go ahead and just enter a total in. So entering time can be very simple for the week. If you don't need to enter or want to enter a detailed daily time, just enter the total time. That's sufficient for clarity.
That's great. So now I can enter my time daily or weekly. And obviously the plan where Valerie was assigned to a task, that would appear on her timesheet. So this is great, all at the, you know, it's the operational, the tactical level. But what sort of portlets or reports are in the system that I can use to show my management and my executive what's going on in these projects? Could you show those for us, please?
Sure. Yeah, Clarity comes with quite a few dashboards and reports that give you a wide variety of information across these projects. So I'll just show you a couple that are available. So first, let's take a look at the status report view. And what this does is basically give us just a high-level view of the status of all these projects. So I'll bring this up. And again, each of the projects, regardless of how they are being planned at a detailed plan or at a one-line plan, they're all going to have the same way of reporting status, of looking at project metrics, and reviewing effort and schedule. So there's a standardized reporting across all these projects. So what we're looking at here is just a status report review of all the projects. It just tells you real quick who's the manager, what's the overall status of the project, red, yellow, or green, and then a high-level status report update, and then more detailed statuses of the schedule, the scope, and cost and effort. So a real high-level view of these status reports. And if I see one that I want to look more deeper into, for example, I may look down here and see if this one has red in cost and effort, that's a concern to me. I can go and just click on this and go look in more detail, well, why is it red for cost and effort? So you get a high-level view of overall project status and the ability to click in and see more detail. Well, why is this red? And so you can direct your attention to the projects that need attention.
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
Sure thing.
What's the PPM dashboard up there that you were showing me?
Yeah, so PPM dashboards, these are just some nice built-in dashboards that allow you to easily see project information across projects. So this, you can see across the top, there's a number of different dashboards, KPIs by project type, top 50 project watch list, project status. What we're seeing here is it looks at all the information on the projects and gathers them into, categorizes them in information and metrics the way you want to see them. So a project type we're looking at, well, all my projects, they're categorized. Is this an application change? Is it an infrastructure deployment? Or is it a major project? And then it tells you, well, how am I doing in each of these types of projects in various ways? So how much time am I spending on the major project in green versus application change and infrastructure deployment? It tells me kind of critically, where do I stand in terms of status of these projects by KPI project type. And also, high level, what's the overall look at issues, risks, and change requests on these project types? Again, a high level look at these project groupings. I'll show you one more dashboard just to give you an example of another type of project dashboard we can look at. This is the top 50 project watch list. This is more the key projects that you want to see within your organization. And it shows them by, again, a variety of metrics, your KPIs, your issues, your change requests, and then a list of the projects with their high-level view of what's happening on those projects. And you're able to easily filter these. So, for example, if you wanted to say, what are the projects which have a high alignment to my company goals, and are any of those at high risk? You can go ahead and filter that down, and you find, well, there's one project actually has a high risk, it's high alignment, so very important, also has a high risk. So you're able to keep track of that and easily check on the most important projects. And again, if you want to see more, then you would just click on this project and drill into it for more information.
Okay, that's great, thanks. Now I can see how we can look at that information at those levels. So if we wanted to look at the maturity and adoption of these tools across other areas such as resource management or portfolio management or even other areas of project management, would you be able to help us look at the adoption and maturity levels of our organization?
Sure. We have a PPM maturity and an assessment roadmap that allows you to quickly find out where your strengths and weaknesses are in your current organization, and let you decide where you really need to focus your attention, and then based on that, build out a roadmap of when and how and what order to build up your PPM maturity.
Great, thanks, Bill. So I look forward to seeing some other demonstrations, and we'll follow up on the roadmap issues. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, thank you. I look forward to following up with you.
Digital Celerity, guiding your best path to PPM, ITSM, and enterprise agile best practices.